when you're trying to read first thing in the morning, but other things are distracting you. Who is a good girl? It's you. Hello, Mishpacha. It's Courtney, America's Jewish mother. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here to start off a vlog for mid-month book bash weekend. So, here's some goals. So, goal number 1, I want to finish Daniel Silva's Moscow Rules, which is the 8th book in the Gabriel Allon series. I have approximately 100 pages left in this, so I don't foresee that that will be a problem. Goal 2, I would like to finish, if not finish, make significant progress in Casey Plett's A Safe Girl to Love. I am currently on page 38. This book has 230 pages, so again, that seems like it could be doable. So yeah, I think what it is while I'm reading my mammoth, right, like the Count of Monte Cristo, and I'm still reading Moby Dick, which granted I'm pretty close to the end of Moby Dick at this point, although I'm not going to finish it up until next week. But I think what it is I just really have a desire to knock out some short books while I'm working on big, longer ones. So I feel like I'm making some kind of progress. And then I've also just recently checked out from the library as an ebook, Afterlife by Julia Alvarez. Because apparently I just can't stick to my TBR this month, and I'm like, yes, give me mood reading. So that is only, I think, about 160 pages on ebook, so I would like to attempt to read all of that over the mid-month book bash weekend too. So those are my reading goals. So now I'm gonna go do battle with some English ivy. Look, things are in bloom, the birds are chirping. It's springtime. Char's upset because she's in the backyard and I'm out here. So. Okay, come with me. You have to see all this stuff. Okay. You see this? All of this. English ivy. Constant war of attrition. You can see where I cut it down before. But it's getting up there again, so gonna take care of this. So take a good look, because when you see it again, it's gonna be gone. Wahaha. Okay, see this? This is progress. I have not gotten rid of all of the vines yet, but I have pulled them pretty much all down from the sides of the house. And let me tell you what, this has given me a workout, so no yoga required today. Nevertheless, she persisted. Char noms a stick, one of her favorite things. Good stick nomming. Good girl. So clever. Springtime daffodils. I don't know how much longer they'll stay in bloom for, but they look good right now. Okay, gonna start my buddy read of this with Jenny. What were we thinking? A brief intellectual history of the Trump era. Many books have been written about me, some good, some bad. Both happily and sadly, there will be more to come. Trump, 2020. So Carlos Lozada, who's writing this, has said that he's read 150 books about the Trump era thus far, and even that is just a fraction of the Trump canon. One of the ironies of our time is that a man who rarely reads, preferring the rage of cable news and Twitter for hours each day, has propelled an onslaught of book-length writing about his presidency. Okay, boom. So as you can see, I have just applied this mineral mud to my face. So it says you're supposed to leave it for 10 minutes and then wash it off with lukewarm water. Can already feel it hardening on my face, getting all of the dirt and what have you out of it. So we'll check in once I've washed it off. Okay, washed off the mud. I have to say, I don't know if my face has ever felt this clean in my entire life. So definitely feel like I've hit cleanse and rejuvenate. So yeah, more to come. Okay, it's 5:30 on Friday. I have 100 pages of this book left, and I'm gonna try to finish it before I go to bed. Let's go. Hi, so it's Saturday today, and I did finish Moscow Rules. I did not finish it last night before I went to bed, but by the time I went to bed I only had 35 pages left, and so I finished it first thing this morning, so this book is now done. So I hit one of my reading goals for the weekend, and so soon. So, you know, fine overall, entertaining, mostly enjoyable, even as I had some issues with it. So yeah, more about that in my next Friday Reads video. I am now 64 pages into A Safe Girl to Love by Casey Plett, which is a collection of short stories. I'm a little less optimistic that I will make it all the way through this or what have you by the end of Monday, mainly because I've read 4 stories in here so far, and I don't really like them so far. 2 of them have been in the second person, which is not a convention that or not really a style that I love. I think you have to be, like, you have to really know what you're doing with second person to make it work effectively. And then the other 2 stories, the non-second person stories, have had really awkward sex scenes, and I think even if you're a good accomplished writer, it's hard to write good sex scenes. And yeah, so I'm just like, oh my god, are the rest of the stories gonna be like this? Because so we'll see. I will press on with this, but again, quite less optimistic that I will make it through this by the end of Monday. And I'm also reading Julia Alvarez's Afterlife as an ebook from the library. I have made it 42% of the way through this, and I just started it yesterday, so that's pretty good. It's a quick read so far. I like it overall. The main character in that book, Antonia, has recently, this is not a spoiler by the way because it literally happens right at the beginning, has recently lost her husband. She retired from her job. I think she was an English teacher. I can't really tell whether it was a high school or college, but she was an English teacher and she had just recently retired, and her husband, on his way to their celebratory dinner for her retirement, had an aneurysm and died. So now she's kind of trying to, you know, figure out what she's supposed to do with her life now, and meantime she's gotten kind of entangled in a couple of things. One is sort of a subplot that involves one of her sisters who seems to have gone missing, and then the other one has to do with an undocumented teenager who works for her neighbor, and his pregnant girlfriend shows up and I think is going to need somewhere to stay. So those are kind of the 2 things that Antonia is now dealing with. So yeah, so that's interesting. I am much more optimistic that I will finish that by the end of Monday. So that is my reading check-in so far, and I will check in again later. Sauteing bell peppers for fajitas. Nom nom. Okay, it is now Sunday, and this is my progress. So, as you can see, this has become a multi-day project, but we are definitely making progress, slowly but surely. The yard bag is filling up, so I was hoping this could be all done over the course of the weekend, but again, I think it's going to stretch a little longer than that, but that's okay, because we're doing it. Nevertheless, she persisted.
Finally, I read a graphic novel called The Junction by Norm Conyo. This starts out as an investigative story in which we see some law enforcement officers trying to look into whether a child that has turned up is a kid that went missing 11 years ago. The issue is that the child has not aged and should be an adult now, but they seem to be the same age they were when they disappeared. Is something supernatural going on? I'm sure you know the answer to that. The style in which this is written and drawn is very engaging. I think if I were to describe too much of this to you, I think it would misrepresent what this does. Because I think saying that this is a story about grief and neighborhood is a fair description of what this is about, aside from the investigation.
Hi, should we show them how you do your tricks? Okay, shake. Good, good girl. Down. Good, down. There you go. Good baby. Time to watch the Murder, She Wrote.
Hi, it's now Monday, and I am going to go ahead and wrap up this vlog and end it here. So just as a sort of little recap of my reading goals over the mid-month book bash weekend, those were to finish Moscow Rules, which I did. Also, I finished last night Julia Alvarez's book Afterlife, which I quite liked, ended up giving that 4 stars. We'll talk more about it in my Friday Reads video. And I also wanted to finish, or at least make significant progress on Casey Plett's A Safe Girl to Love. And I did, in fact, make it to page 183 of this book. So I only have 2 short stories left to read. And y'all, it was rough. I almost DNF'd this book, seriously, because there was a story about a talking cat. And that would be fine if this was a story for children, but allegedly it's a story for adults with a talking cat. So yeah, I was not amused by that. Not here for talking cats in my fiction. So yeah, anyway, but I did press on, and I have not really liked this overall, so I don't, unless the last 2 stories really blow me away, I don't really foresee this getting any higher than maybe like 2.5 stars, but whatever, I guess we'll see. But anyway, my point is I should finish this before I go to bed tonight, and I will, because tomorrow I want to start an Agatha Christie book for March Mystery Madness. So I've basically hit all of my reading goals for the weekend, so that's good. So Doris also had some prompts for the mid-month book bash weekend. It was themed around spa weekend. So the first prompt was ambiance, which I gave you a little springtime ambiance around here. Then there was cleanse and rejuvenate. I hit both of those with my Ahava mud mask. There was also beautify. I attempted to beautify my yard by getting rid of some invasive English ivy, and again, you've seen that in various stages at this point, so it's not totally gone, but definitely progress is being made, so I'm going to give myself a check mark there. And then last but not least, edify. So over the course of this weekend, I have read significantly in Kindred, which is about Neanderthals, for the BookTube Prize. As of this morning, I'm on page 265 of this, so I've learned quite a bit about Neanderthals. I also, over the weekend, started Carlos Lozada's What Were We Thinking? A Brief Intellectual History of the Trump Era. And so I have read the introduction in the first chapter that gives an overview of books in the quote-unquote Heartlandia genre of Trump era writing. So I am starting to learn about books that have been published about the Trump presidency. So yeah, I think that hits the edify prompt. So that's everything. Thank you for watching this, and thank you to Doris for hosting the mid-month book bash. I would say it was very successful for me. I hope if you were participating, you also had some success and enjoyment out of the spa weekend. I hope everyone is staying well and healthy. I hope you're doing good reading whatever you're reading. And until next time, would it kill you to call your mother?